for anybody listening 20 years in the future, we are in the quarantine era. That is where we are. And it's kind of weird, not going to lie to you. Quarantine life is kind of strange because it's not real quarantine.
Yeah.
Because masks are required, and I'm here at Madeline's house. We're just vibing. But, like, all extra sports or whatever gets shut down if one person comes in contact with the virus. Like, I'm a captain on the team, on the cross-country team, which both of your little brothers are joining this year. And if I catch it, or if any of my teammates catch it, the whole thing goes down forever. Which I get. Which is valid and a proper safety procedure, but it does not make it suck any less.
Oh, for sure. I am on the girls cross-country team, and it's right now. I'm just very, very happy to be back. We meet up and we wear masks, and we've got. It feels like kind of classic cross-country to me because last year we had some new coaches and kind of a different coaching style, which was fine, but now we're kind of back with some of the familiar people, some good vibes, so that's very nice. I like that a lot.
It's been a while since I recorded an episode of this podcast. Last time I recorded,
wasn't it with Ellie?
Yeah, it was just after the pandemic got over, or the pandemic started, and everyone was really freaking out. At 10,000 cases, and now we're at 20 million cases.
Ooh.
And we're vibing.
Yeah.
The scare has gone down. What all has happened since then?
Oh, so much.
Very, very lot. I shaved my head.
It's back now.
It's back now. Yeah.
Yes.
That's how long it's been. And then there's been other global stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm realizing more and more that I just don't keep up with global news. Like I know
Des
nothing.
Moines has had some stuff going on.
Oh right,
lately.
Like the thousands of riots.
And
not riots and protests and all that.
Protests, arrests. Today apparently there were people advocating for the release of some wrongly arrested people. There are people who were arrested for dissemination of intelligence data. Which is
what does that mean?
So basically there was a protest at Hy-Vee several weeks ago, and that protest
you went to that, right?
I did not.
Oh,
and also yes, that was
well, go on.
Yeah. Right. So at that protest there was a cop car that was defaced with graffiti, and then someone took off a sticker and burned it. And KCCI was there and had footage of the people there and pictures and stuff. And the police have used those pictures to track down people's social media and then use that to arrest them weeks later, even if they don't have images of them actually doing anything to the car, which was the only property that was damaged, by the way.
Yikes.
So there was a ton of people who were arrested because of that. There was a girl who was pulled over because she's Asian, and there's a picture of a girl who is Asian. This was right after there was a ban passed on racial profiling, by the way. So
very cool.
Yeah, it's very fun. But anyway, the protesters saw very clearly that they had these pictures of them and that they were using that to arrest them. So they told some news person about these pictures and explained what was going on. And because of that, more protesters were arrested again, including one who is still being detained. And yeah, so anyway, protesters gathered again today to the police station to ask for their release. And they're still trying to get this executive order passed to allow people who have been convicted of felonies to vote. Which Iowa's the only state that does not allow people who have served their felony conviction to vote.
We're the only state?
Yes, the only state. Mm-hmm.
That is bogus.
Yeah.
Considering how easy it is to get a felony.
Oh, for sure.
It's very easy. I'm not sure if the listeners at
most
home
of the
are
people
aware.
who were arrested were charged with felonies just for, there was a criminal mischief charge that was used for anyone who was seen at the Hy-Vee protest.
Okay.
So there's stuff like that going on. Felonies are very easy to get.
if you damage a car or anything worth $1,000 or more, then becomes felony territory. And it doesn't even really have to be $1,000. It just the owner of it has to claim it's more than $1,000 or get appraised at that level. And so if you jump on a car hood when you're not supposed to, you can get charged with a felony.
That's insane.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to get a felony, especially during a protest. Wow, that's really rough. But that is what's happening for those of you listening in 2045.
Oh yeah. Hopefully you'll be looking back and going, man, we made it out of this. I'm so proud of us.
Everyone comment down below. Anybody listening in 2045?
Or it could be everyone's in a bunker going, oh, the good old days.
Back when we weren't allowed out of our houses. Yeah.
No, I'm saying
back when we had houses.
Now, yes, exactly, because they're in a bunker now.
Right.
Yep.
Understandable. Tough stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, how have you been being a cross-country captain and all that?
Oh, that's fine. That is that is a minimal impact.
I don't know why you squatted down. There's no camera.
That was weird of him.
Yeah.
Like a little gremlin.
Yeah.
We'll give you an audio diary really fast.
Yes.
Exactly what happened. Which little brother of yours just...
Alec
came down the stairs.
Alec Michael Fialkov.
At about 7 miles per hour. He bustles behind me and goes straight into the kitchen. He's ducked down.
In Looney Tunes tiptoe criminal style.
Close to the floor. He grabs a LaCroix or something.
Probably.
Silent for about 8 seconds. And hurries back out the exact same way he came. Louder and faster. And still hunched down. For those of you wondering what just happened. My goodness. Cross-country captain has very little impact, dude. It's just me showing up early in the morning, sweating really hard, and then being done for the day.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how my days happen. It's that, and then it's over, and then that's about it.
Yeah, it's very weird not having much going on, and yet there's so much stuff that I could do.
I've fallen into this pit online.
Oh, I know.
It's never a good conversation to start like that. But about YouTube drama.
Oh.
Don't look at me like that.
What kind of YouTube drama though?
Well, it's not like
so many layers to
James Charles baloney or anything. But in the Smash, so I'm very big. I like playing video games. Mm-hmm. It's one of my hobbies. And the Smash community, which is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, those guys who play that competitively for fun, have been charged, or at least not charged yet, but definitely has been tons of allegations about underage interactions.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is less about YouTube drama and more about criminal drama.
Yeah.
But it's rough, and so I've been following that closely. That's no fun. But I've also been getting into chess. So if you want to 1v1 me in chess, comment down below.
I would like to play you in chess.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Well, because I learned what castling was from your fantastic video. No, I've known what castling was since the second grade, a year before you became.
That's true.
What is it? Chess master of your third grade class or whatever.
Something fun like that.
Grandmaster.
I forget all the jokes I made in that video. It was fun to make.
My dad was trying to raise me to become a chess master that could compete with the Russian brainiacs at one point.
Really?
Yes. And then he was too busy to keep playing chess with me. And that is why I am not a fantastic master chess player. That is the sole reason.
I feel like I wouldn't wish that level of excellence on anybody.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't think it ever looks like they're having fun.
At that point the bar's too high, man.
Oh yeah.
I like losing in chess.
Yeah.
I don't like needing to win. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my life is painfully uneventful, which is not great for podcast interactions. Usually there's got to be some zany fun going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like something real exciting or riveting that happened. This is tricky. I have been a section leader now for a little bit, which is fun because we might not have band next year.
Band.
Yeah.
Imagine being a band kid, man. Band kids, interesting brood. Band kids.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a very mixed group, I would say.
Oh, definitely.
Because you've got all the sub groups. I mean, not just the sections, because the sections tend to have personalities. Like the clarinets tend to be on the sort of more introverted, less outgoing side, but they have some weird quirkiness within, you know.
Yeah.
And then you've got the trumpets, which tend to be the most loud, arrogant people. I shouldn't say this.
Just
I'm
like their
offend
instrument,
so many people. Also, I'm not supposed to like backtalk people as a section leader. This looks
no,
really
but it's
bad.
online, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean,
screw band kids. All my homies hate band kids.
I know a lot of great trumpet players. I know a lot of fantastic people who
you
also
gotta,
play
you gotta
trumpet.
lead like that because there's some butt coming in about 3 seconds.
But I really like making sweeping generalizations and saying that they're all super self-obsessed.
I feel like for our band, which is schmassive, which is huge.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
We get the wide range, but for smaller bands, smaller like outward in the middle of nowhere, town bands, they're all kind of the same in that the kids in them treat real life like it's online. Like a band kid when we were in Florida for that trip goes up to a McDonald's and he says, "Can I get a number 15 Burger King foot lettuce?" Oh wait, you guys don't sell that here. Oof, let me get the biggest nuggies you got. Like just stuff like that where they're saying, or like they would describe the meme Lost to you.
I accidentally asked for a McPick 2 at Panera. I don't know if that counts. Like they have
wait. At Panera Bread.
Yes. So they have their pick 2, right?
Yeah.
And I
tacked on the Mick part.
Well, yes. So I tend to get a little frazzled in basic social interactions. I've gotten better with practice, but like going up to a cashier and asking for something, it takes some degree of multitasking to know what you want and ask for it and pay attention to how the cashier responds and like also be doing the other things that you're supposed to do to have like a normal social interaction, like making appropriate levels of eye contact and not smiling too much, but like I think this through.
Wow,
okay?
you have overthought that so much.
I know.
Describe to me how many seconds of eye contact is too much eye contact.
It's not, it's a feel thing, and it's different with every person.
It's an art, I see, okay.
Yes, but see, that's something that requires so much focus, because I get sometimes overwhelmed with like making too much eye contact for a long time, especially with people I don't know very well. And in some situations, I will start tearing up just because I am like that uncomfortable.
Wow.
So yes, so I've got a lot going on in those instances. And I was looking at the menu and I needed to make sure that she knew that I wanted the pick 2 deal.
Mm-hmm.
And of course that triggers my caveman brain that goes McPick 2, even though I have never once in my life ordered a McPick 2.
Put a pin in it right there. Yeah.
I like that you can see to like.
Yeah, he was like, "Am I good to go in?"
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're paused.
Yeah, just be quiet and then go upstairs.
Get out of here! Go on.
Shower, will you be able to hear it?
Yeah.
So don't take a shower.
No, you can shower.
Oh, okay.
McPick 2.
Yes.
Caveman brain McPick 2.
Yes. So with this, I'm trying to think. Where did I? Oh my gosh.
I feel like the only embarrassing story where I've had to order something is one time I went into McDonald's after a long day at school or whatever, and me and my buddy ordered water with whipped cream on top. And I was like a freshman at the time.
As like a joke.
Oh, as a
right?
joke, of course, for fun.
Okay.
Just because we saw a meme of it or whatever, and we're like, oh, whoa! I want to do that.
Whoever made that for you must have been so irritated. They were like, "Oh,
Well,
I hate 14-year-old boys."
I'm sure, but I thought I was hot business walking in there. Go up to the counter. I say to him, and then at the moment that I make eye contact with him, I panic. My heart freezes for a second. I look straight in his soul and I say, "Can I get a water?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he turns to go make it, and I like, wait, shoot! I forgot to tell him the most important part. And I say, "Oh." I saw his name tag and I call him by his name back around. I said, "Greg." He turns around and
Greg.
He looks at me dead in the eyes. He goes, "What?" I say, "Can you put whipped cream on top of it?" And he like scoffs at me and goes, "Do you want whipped cream on top of it?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, fine." Anyway, being a freshman was horrible, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I feel like I was such a different person as a freshman because there's a very specific level of needing attention and feeling just completely like crushed by having people like see you do anything that you consider embarrassing, which is like everything is mortifying as a freshman because
right.
You're like, everyone hates me, everyone despises my existence because I am inherently an annoying and awful person, which is left over from middle school where that is really beaten into you that you are a worthless piece of scum.
That's a good way to describe middle school.
Yeah. And then you have to work your way out of it by making friends and stuff. So yeah, freshman year is a time full of great anxiety. But any freshman listening to this, it's not that bad. It's better than middle school.
And you're allowed to talk,
yeah.
As a freshman. So it's all good, man. I'm not going to ridicule you.
I was probably one of those people that had a worse time their freshman year just because I was so paranoid that people would find me super annoying and intolerable to be around. Yeah. And that I was just, yeah.
I wish the freshmen I know, like on the cross country team or whatever, would listen to this and like know for a fact that they're not as annoying as they think they are. And you'd be like, wow, that's good. And then also know all about the horrible stories I've told in this podcast about myself. And that way they can like throw back my face when I'm getting after them. Isaac, why aren't you doing push-ups, Greg?
The thing is, get
down and do push-ups. He says, shut up, Isaac. I know you pooped in your grandma's yard. I'll go, God.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to recall some of the interesting stories you said. I remember you had something about pooping your pants while you were running.
Now that you brought it up, yeah, I did do that actually. I did that as a freshman.
Great,
again, yeah. And then I'm not sure I've told the pooping in my grandma's backyard story on the podcast, but now that I've brought it up, I feel like I have an obligation to.
I mean, that's a good place to do it because they need fertilizer, right? Those plants and stuff.
My grandma has a big black backsplash window on her backyard.
Oh.
Which means once you're sitting in the living room, you can see anywhere out there. It lasts the whole wall. And my grandmother also teaches piano.
Oh.
And so the story is this.
Okay.
I'm in second grade, which is too old to poop in public, especially.
But it's better than freshman year. I'm not saying no, because cross country, I understand those things happen and stuff. But I'm saying, had that happened your freshman year, that would have been worse.
This is true. This is fact. Anyways, I'm in my grandma's backyard. I've walked home after a second grade class. I'm tired, man. I've been eating chicken nuggets all day. I was out running in recess, and I need to use the bathroom. And so I come in from the backyard to see my grandmother's student's mom in the bathroom. Now, I don't see her in the bathroom. I've knocked on the door though. She says, hello? Obviously it's her. And so I say to myself, shoot, this is bad because I really gotta go. And there's two bathrooms in the house. One guest bathroom and one is my grandmother's. And my grandmother's is located next to her room. So I've got to walk from the entrance from the back door all the way through the house, past the piano, and into the bathroom. And that is a fate worse than death. I'm not going to walk past my grandma while she's teaching a piano lesson. She's gotten after me for that before. So the conclusion is thus. I'll squat right next to the window, but all the way over, so that way no one will probably see me. And I'll get behind the little play place and just drop the trowel. Now.
So that was a conscious decision you made.
Oh yeah, it was a decision I made. In
you were like, this is the solution she would want me to take, rather than minorly disrupting her lesson. She would rather,
This is do or die.
Yeah.
But at the exact moment that
that was a great pun.
Yeah. So at the exact moment that I pulled down my trousers, my little bright red trousers, the student's mom walks back into the living room. Now, I didn't know this until after I was done. So I finished doing what I was doing, and I looked back, and there she is. It was not a good day for me. It was the worst day of my second grade life.
That's such a good anecdote, though. See, and
for what? What could that possibly be an anecdote
for if you're ever invited on a talk show and you talk about your second grade self. Why? What are you? What?
I thought you were talking about, like, that's a good analogy, is what I heard.
No.
I was like, what could me pooping in my grandma's backyard possibly be?
I mean, we can make an
for?
Analogy.
Please don't.
Out of it.
I know you want to go into literature or something. Don't make this an analogy.
Okay, sorry.
No. If you were to make it an analogy, what would it possibly be an analogy for?
Well, I would say that it's about putting, others' opinion of you and putting others' disappointment in you over your own well-being and assessment of your own needs. Because ultimately, you would have been better off had you just sacrificed, your grandma insulting you or whatever she would do if you walked past her during her lesson. I don't know her personally. Then
She's a nice lady. She would have just scolded me for interrupting her.
And I think we're conditioned to fear others' criticism of us, to the point that sometimes it's to our detriment because we need to just do what we need to do, and we're all individuals. And
Wow. Wise words from Madeline about a story for my second grade self.
Yes. There's meaning in everything. I do not want to become an English teacher, but I feel like it may be the fate I am forced to endure,
If you're ever an English teacher, I feel like you should be the first week of class in high school, right? If you're a high school English teacher, you should, at a very liberal school, this is a lot of prerequisites.
Okay.
You should have them do a satirical piece or satirical analysis on Mike Pence's podcast, Gay Future.
First of all, he has a podcast. Does he speak on this podcast?
Oh no. Let me elaborate for a second. Gay Future, the premise is this. The gay agenda has won. Everyone's gay. I mean everybody. If your mother's gay, your dad's gay. It's everyone's. All of America is gay.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Except one little boy from Ohio who's very straight. And it's his journey to become president of the United States or something. I don't know.
Wait, is this actually the plot?
This is a real podcast.
It's like a fictional sort of dystopian future that he's imagined?
It's a fictional dystopian future set in America, and the writer of the podcast is Mike Pence.
Wow.
Interesting stuff.
I can't believe I haven't heard of that before.
I can imagine it wouldn't be on your radar much.
But that's so, wow, that is very eye-opening.
It sounds like a South Park skit when I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah, it sounds,
And regardless of whatever you think about,
what is the ultimate consequence of this straight, I assume, white male, perfectly normal,
he's normal.
boy living in a gay wilderness or whatever?
I haven't listened to the podcast. I don't know. I just read a synopsis.
There's so many things wrong with that.
I don't care like what you think about the whole gay agenda or whatever, but it's comedy. It is borderline Monty Python kind of business that the president of the United States would write a podcast about the gay agenda winning. Anyways, that's just a little tidbit.
So the gay agenda is like zombies who are aware that they're zombies, just spreading their gayness to other people. How do they...
Dude, you're asking a lot of questions I have none of the answers to.
Well, I mean...
We'll link the Gay Agenda podcast down below so that you and all your friends can listen to the first episode after you listen to this.
Does he get money from views?
Oh, definitely.
He still, then do not watch this.
Go on Pirate Bay and look up Gay Future. It's for free on Spotify, I think. I don't know. It's worth reading the synopsis at least.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion.
I will have to do that. I think I've heard that he wrote like a book about his bunny or something. Like he has a pet bunny.
Oh yeah, sort of he does. He's made a lot of media, then, hasn't he?
That's such a strange thing coming from a guy who looks like he's wearing a mannequin's face. Some of the things that are true in our society and our world in general just almost make me mad, just because like you can't even make it up, you know, because people will be like, oh, that's a parody of Pence or whatever. Like, what if I just wanted to create this really ridiculous comical supervillain who happened to have all of the characteristics of like Pence, and now I can't do it because this person actually exists.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the problems I have with him and other ridiculously awful politicians. Okay. Are you recording right now?
Yeah, I'm recording right now.
Okay.
I always want to keep a natural flow of things. Okay. I'm not going to tell you when I am not recording, Madeline.
Well, last time you weren't recording for a segment of time that I thought you were, so I've got to check every 30 seconds. I will stop when I'm
Listen,
saying,
I had pressed recording, but the mic wasn't on. It's an important distinction. And listen,
right.
It was 4 minutes.
Still your
wasted.
fault.
True. Just
this is recent, and it's still sort of political, but I promise not to expand on it. Kim Reynolds hit someone who was standing in her way. She hit a protester.
Nice. The Pope once punched a woman. It wasn't a punch. It was more of a smack in the eye.
She hit them with her car. Sorry.
Oh!
I like that you just went with that. Like,
WWE SmackDown. with
Kim Reynolds.
I always picture him as a woman. Then I realize, wait, who am I thinking
Kim
of?
Reynolds?
Yeah.
She is a woman.
Who? Yes,
she is her governor. And
wait, who am I thinking about? The Chinese ambassador to China.
Terry Branstad.
Terry Branstad. I always pictured Terry as a woman.
You know, he came to Merrill because my Spanish teacher in 6th grade won Teacher of the Year. And
yes, he did. I forgot about that. And then he also, my sister, he brought in his family to Botters, a local restaurant in Des Moines.
Really?
And he ordered like a huge lunch, like 85 different sandwiches. Not 85, like 20 different sandwiches for a family. He and his extended family showed up and took up the whole bar.
Wow.
And then he didn't pay a tip.
Oh, I can't believe he got away with that. I mean...
Well, I mean, it's, you know, whatever. He can spend his money how he wants. And it was a big dinner. But
I was always under this impression that politicians were like under a microscope or something, where like they couldn't do things that would make other people just assholes. Like politicians doing that would make them unelectable or whatever. But I guess like we've really seen that that's not the case.
Oh, come on, Madeline. That's not true.
I watched Parks and Rec as like a 4th grader or 5th grader or whatever. Maybe I was a little older. And they talk about how like any sort of indiscretion from a politician because they were running for like city council. So maybe it's only at like the low level, or maybe Parks and Rec is a totally accurate depiction.
We wish
of
Parks and Rec was an accurate depiction of politics.
I mean, some of the stuff is like Parks and Rec was on the low end of the spectrum of people's insanity.
I read a post the other day about how people who watch the same shows over and over again, like they have a higher, it's a side effect of like having anxiety or whatever.
Oh, for sure.
Because you want to know what happens already, and so that way you don't have to see anything new. So it explains why everybody watches
like
The Office.
The characters are like, they become like comforting to you because it's like sort of like a family that you can depend on. You know what they will do, and you can predict them. This sounds really sad. You're gonna put this out, and people are gonna be like,
valid.
"Hey, Madeline, do you need help?"
I mean, I get it. It is sad.
But like, especially early on in the quarantine, when I really wasn't seeing anyone, I got to the point where like watching any sort of comedy show where you have this cast of people interacting in a friendly way like made me cry, because I was like, oh my gosh, I used to have friends that I would see and interact with. We had this really great high five one time, and that like has me in tears, you know?
Yeah. Nobody told you life was gonna be this way.
Life's a joke. Yeah.
I get that.
So
I feel like I had a friend.
I say that like I wasn't looking at pictures just this morning of like cross country last year and of us singing on the bus and like also tearing up a little bit.
Dang. I had one friend's parents who said, like, oh, we're gonna wait a few weeks in the pandemic, or a month at least, to see who gets sick and who doesn't, and then it'll be fine.
That's a really morbid way of putting it.
Yeah, when it came, like when COVID came out or whatever. And I was like, well, it seems kind of backwards thinking, you know? Like, why would you be more and more like free when the pandemic ramps up, as opposed to more freedom, and then as it ramps up, restrict freedoms? I don't know.
It's about the curve. People don't mention the curve as much anymore, but they mentioned it a ton in March and April.
Yeah, well, now the curve's on.
Now the curve is
downward spiral.
Now the curve is like just like a plateau up in the lots and lots of people zone.
In the too much zone.
Yes, the too much. The America's in trouble, but we're pulling out of the WHO zone. I'm sorry, I'm bringing in politics so much. I wasn't expecting to.
It happens, man, and you're a politically charged dude. Not like a super politically charged dude, but you know what's up. You know what's going on.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's wild. It's like politics are kind of just life in many ways. So
that was the weirdest thing I've ever heard you say in my life, in my politics. Oh my goodness.
How is that really the weirdest thing you've ever heard me say, though? Because I feel like I've heard you say a lot of
strange things. Saying politics is life.
No, but I actually do genuinely mean that.
TLC is a mirror of my existence.
No, but politics, like the impact of politics, not the way that politicians behave per se, but our lives are fundamentally informed by politics, and it's important to acknowledge how the way you live is impacted by societal systems and government and all of that. So that is what I mean. That sounded really dry. I'm sorry. It's like having a teacher
yeah, it was fine.
on your podcast.
Maybe a future teacher.
Don't you dare. Don't threaten me with that.
No, I don't really. Politics never been my jam. Don't like politics. Think they're dumb.
Oh, I don't like them, but I feel kind of forced into it because, you know what I mean? Like,
I honestly, sincerely do not know what you mean.
Like, I care about a lot of things and a lot of issues, and for me, when I can't do things about a problem or I can't enact change or whatever, my only option is to like educate myself and to explore them by diving into an internet and social media like wormhole of finding out how far the rabbit hole goes or whatever, to quote Alice in Wonderland and The Matrix.
Right.
I don't know which one exactly used that particular phrase. I watched The Matrix before I read Alice in Wonderland, which seems...
No, that's the correct way to experience it.
Okay, yeah.
This next episode of the podcast will be dedicated to entirely about how much Alice in Wonderland sucks.
Wait, we can talk about it. Oh, you mean now? Sorry, I thought you meant you were going to do another episode of the podcast talking about
No,
that.
we can talk about it now. I'm just
Okay.
using hyperbole to prove a point, because I'll do a video essay about how terrible this video is.
Yes.
I do not like Alice in Wonderland at all.
I watched a YouTube video about how Alice in Wonderland is being used wrong. And basically, they just said it's nonsense.
Do tell.
Yes. It's nonsense, and people are trying to interpret it as having meaning, like it's something related to drugs, or like has some deeper societal implications. So, you know.
Who's the idiot that wrote that book?
Lewis Carroll.
Lewis Carroll was a pedophile. He was a pedophile.
There is an actual... What is your evidence that you're going on?
He
for
wanted
that?
to have a relationship with a 12-year-old girl.
How do you know this?
I don't know.
That would not hold up in court. That is
speculation that I need to hold on to in order to feel good about myself and about this whole thing, about how I read it all.
No. So apparently the main reason why people thought that is because he had photographs of the children he watched, including Alice. And this was right after like cameras were invented, basically, and he photographed her naked, which sounds bad, but also they didn't have the same sort of landscape that we have, where like pictures of child nudity is associated with child pornography.
We were talking about Genghis Khan all the way before this. And back in the day, killing someone was associated with killing someone. Putting a knife through them was similar to killing someone.
Photography was like a new development of
Taking
technology.
a photo, having a piece of evidence that you've held onto for years of a naked, small child does not denote some healthy relationship.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people, including family members, who have like pictures of naked
babies,
young
of
children
babies, yeah.
She was like 5. She wasn't that... Okay, first of all, she wasn't that old. And yes, it could be a creepy thing, but also when you think about it, this was a new technology, and it's possible that photography and all of that wasn't seen as something that was...
If you're telling me that Lewis Carroll,
it's not the same...
modern day, gets a hologram done, takes a hologram snapshot of a nude 6-year-old, that's all right. That's all good.
Wait. What are you saying? Modern day?
Yeah. No. So let's bring up.
It's not. But I'm saying it's not modern day.
Carroll.
This was. You think about the treatment and of children back then, and the way society was. I'm not saying that it's okay to be, or it was okay to be a pedophile then, but I don't think that there was the same sort of assumption that if you're taking pictures like that you are a pedophile. Because that's not to say, I'm trying to think of how to explain this, but like if you took a picture now of a child that was naked, you would be thinking, is this a creepy thing to do? And you either have the intent to basically abuse your power as an adult by doing that and being a creepy person, or to not do that, you know?
This is a real argument you and I are having, all right? I'd like to show you some photographic evidence. On screen, thrown up on screen now, is a photo of Lewis Carroll kissing Alice Liddell. Now... Really?
She looks... That's a weird picture.
She looks surprisingly old in that photo?
Old.
Yes, exactly.
Wait, okay. I need more information. Scroll down.
If you're telling me, right, that old honeys in the 1940s, right, had photos of small children.
I don't know.
Or of their wives or whatever in there, that's all a photo there is. That's just a photo.
I'm just saying I haven't...
World War I and II, right? photos exist. You can take photos. Soldiers carried on little photos of
This
people.
wasn't World War I and II. This was the Victorian era, wasn't
This
it?
was 1865.
Yeah, that was not World War I and II. I know enough. I remember enough
it's
from
the Civil
Push.
War.
It's,
No, but that photo is jank. He's holding her by the waist. She's got her arms around his neck, like she's gonna throttle him. Her mouth's weirdly open.
I'm not saying that he definitely isn't a pedophile. I honestly have not seen that picture.
If a
before, so that is creepy,
if a photo
but-
of her naked, like just as a small child, I can actually even say that's okay.
Yeah.
Because your uncle might have a photo of you like that in a picture book somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But this is worse than that.
Yeah.
This is
it looks
substantially
pretty
worse
bad.
than that. That's a poor photograph.
I don't want to do an audio description for the
Well, I'll put it up on the
listeners.
screen. Bam,
Okay.
there it is. That's the photo. I put it up. There it is.
Is this what people are going to see throughout the podcast?
No.
And it only gets to this.
This will be the background
section.
photo.
Like
The
they're like,
entire
what the heck is this? Why do I have to watch
I
this
can
while
break
we
this in-
talk about Genghis Khan and Kim Reynolds and Mike Pence?
What are we gonna name this episode, man? What's the name of this episode?
Genghis Khan and Kim Reynolds and Mike Pence. That's what I just,
That's just three people.
True. I don't know. You can be creative and figure it out. I'm really bad at coming up with names for things.
That's the title right there. I'm really bad at coming up with names of things. In air quotes, dash Madeline Fialkov.
That's a lie, because sometimes I'm good at coming up with names for things. Most of the time I am, but I'm just very indecisive, and that is therein lies all of my problems.
Oh, they made a BBC documentary about him. Yeah.
Really?
We'll have to watch this sometime.
Do they say that he is a pedophile?
No, it says that just sheds light on his lifestyle.
okay.
So
His lifestyle.
it's a 150th anniversary, a new documentary about.
Whenever someone describes someone's life and they say the word lifestyle, that makes me instantly uneasy,
Yeah, I mean, especially when the synopsis for it is this. I'll read it now. Tomorrow, the BBC will broadcast a new controversial documentary entitled The Secret World of Lewis Carroll, in which it will be revealed that Carroll, a photographer as well as a fiction writer and mathematician, took countless photos of young girls in his lifetime. Countless pictures. In most of the images, the children are dressed, but there are others in which they are naked. I'm not saying he was a terrible human. I'm only suggesting that he was. And I'm also
that's fair.
saying blatantly that the work that he did professionally was terrible. He was a mathematician, A, which is never a good sign. And B, he
Wait,
also
just in
wrote-
general, or like for someone being a mathematician and also writing fiction?
I think
Mathematicians out there.
mathematicians in general are pretty bad. I don't like mathematicians that much. I think Einstein was my favorite mathematician just because I know the least about him.
Wait, I need to know some other tea about mathematicians.
What do you mean some other tea?
You said that because you know the least about Einstein.
Yeah, I know that he
He's
was
your
cool, and I know that he made a bomb.
Well, I don't feel like you should have led with that when you were saying he's your favorite mathematician.
That's the only thing
He
I
didn't
know
mean
about him.
to, I'm pretty sure. I think he said
No.
something about like being disturbed by its use.
Yeah, he definitely was, but that's besides the point.
I feel like that's a really big tragedy about like when you look at historical scientists and stuff who have used their work and then seen it be kind of perverted, because I think that a lot of scientists just have this natural curiosity that fuels what they do, but some of their downfall has been that they haven't understood the intent, and so people kind of take advantage of their drive to see change.
Who else besides Einstein?
So there is a painting in the art center.
Okay. All right, go on.
Years ago, I was there, and I can't remember if I was on a tour with like a tour guide or if I just read the caption, because honestly, I get kind of bored just looking at paintings and trying to figure out what's there.
Right.
I feel so awful saying this because I support art and artists and stuff, but like I'm not, I would say, as much of a visual arts person. So then I like to read the little blurb next to it to figure out what the meaning is and see if there's anything useful I'm getting out of looking at this
Right.
painting that
Right.
someone worked really, really hard on.
Anyways. Okay.
Yes. And anyway, it described how I think it was painted by or about a scientist who also collaborated on the Manhattan Project, I think it was.
The worst group project ever.
Oh, yes. Everyone actually did what they were supposed to. And yeah, that's why you just slack off in group projects. That's the best case scenario.
I think everyone did, and then Einstein was that one guy who just picked up all the work there at the end.
Well, yeah, he was anyway.
Guys, the bomb is due tomorrow. I'm doing an Italian accent.
He just felt very, very sad about the fact that his work was used the way it was. And I feel like that's kind of a deep thing to think about.
Deep.
Yeah, just that I've been thinking a lot about morality lately and whether that's like something you can be born with, or whether every person who is evil becomes that way.
Oh, we're getting
transformation.
Existential here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of the way
we're in the last
I am.
T-minus 10 minutes.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right. We got to go quickly here.
Yeah, because I got to be.
But I do, because there's just so much. Some people just do such terrible things and seem to be such terrible people from every perspective. And I don't believe in trauma justifying or completely explaining it, because there are people who have been through so much who are incredible people.
Right. I feel like being a terrible person is a lot like alcoholism, right? Where it can be in your blood or it can be taught to you by the people that are brought up around you. Like, you can have an alcoholic dad, but it all depends on your own agency.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it brings down to. It's just there's a lot of terrible people who use their agency very poorly, like Lewis Carroll.
I really don't know, because honestly, I have good associations from reading Alice in Wonderland, just because it didn't cause me any mental pain to read, like most of our English books. I didn't feel like I needed to analyze the socio-political impacts, and there wasn't a woman being, to my knowledge, I didn't see any women being treated as objects, right, which is an unfortunate side effect of most English class books and stuff that we've read, where it's I think I like this character, but I'm a little afraid that she was just the author's fantasy girl that he wanted to,
It's interesting to think about how authors reveal what an author or what a creator puts out reveals about their own statement. Yeah. I'm wondering what me making this 45-minute episode or whatever it is going to impact the people's perception. Which I guess doesn't matter, because it's not doing it for... Yeah. Just doing it as a little time capsule. But it'll be interesting to think. Comment down below what exactly this episode has made you think about me or Madeline.
I have been seeing a therapist, so don't worry. I'll be working through these issues.
Yeah, that's good. Good on you. On the social mind grind.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, thank you so much for listening, everyone. Thanks, Madeline, for coming on.
This should be fun. Oh, and thank you for having me, by the way.
Yeah, it's a blast talking to you.
It was really fun. I'm happy you did it.
I hope you've made it to the end. If you made it to the end, thank you. I don't really have anything to give you. Sorry. Please share this video to every freshman you know.
Oh.
So they can know, and they can throw all these facts back in their English
Alec
faces.
and Daniel Fialkov. Please.
No, this will be funny.
Don't show this to my brothers.
Alec will be able to get
They're going to be so mad at me.
A description of exactly how tall he is. He's 4'2".
You shouldn't say that. He's a little taller than me.
Anyways, thank you so much.
Because I'm 4'1".
You're all, thank you so much. You guys are the best.
Thank you.
And I hope you guys listen next time.
Take care. Love you.